Have you ever wondered if Allah is preparing you for marriage? Perhaps you feel a shift in your heart, a growing desire for companionship, a newfound sense of responsibility, or an increasing patience in waiting for the right person. These are not mere emotions. They could be signs from Allah that your journey toward marriage is unfolding. Marriage is more than just a legal bond or a social contract. It is a divine connection, a sacred trust established by Allah Himself. It is not merely about companionship or the fulfillment of emotional needs. It is a spiritual commitment that intertwines two souls in a journey of faith, growth, and responsibility. It is a relationship that extends beyond worldly affection, anchoring itself in patience, sacrifice, and unwavering devotion to Allah. A righteous marriage does not just bring two individuals together, it creates a foundation for a family, a unit that nurtures future generations in love, faith, and morality. In Islam, marriage is not solely about personal happiness. It is about mutual upliftment, supporting one another in worship, and walking together toward Jannah. It serves as a means of protection against moral and spiritual corruption, shielding individuals from temptation and guiding them toward a life of righteousness. A successful marriage requires not only love, but also wisdom, understanding, and the ability to weather life's storms with patience and faith. When the appointed time arrives, Allah unites two hearts in a way that no one else can. This union is not dictated by mere coincidence or human effort alone, but by divine will and perfect timing. However, how can one discern if they are being prepared for this significant milestone? What are the indications that Allah is shaping you to fulfill the sacred obligations of a blessed and meaningful union? Stay with us as we unveil 7 powerful signs that suggest Allah is preparing you for marriage. These are not random occurrences, but rather divine interventions strategically placed in your life. Each trial, lesson, and experience carefully woven together to mold you into the person who will honor the sacred covenant of marriage with sincerity, devotion, and responsibility. Allah reminds us in the Quran, and among His signs is that He created for you from yourselves spouses that you may find tranquility in them, and He placed between you affection and mercy. Indeed, in that are signs for a people who reflect. Surah Ar-Rum 30:21. This verse beautifully encapsulates the essence of marriage in Islam: tranquility, love, and mercy. These 3 pillars are the foundation upon which a successful and fulfilling marital relationship stands. When Allah prepares you for marriage, He nurtures these qualities within you. He softens your heart, enhances your patience, and deepens your sense of responsibility. He teaches you the virtue of compromise, the strength of humility, and the beauty of selflessness, all of which are necessary for a harmonious and lasting relationship. If you find these signs unfolding in your life, understand that Allah is guiding you towards something far greater than mere companionship. He is leading you to a partnership that will test your faith, strengthen your character, and serve as a means for spiritual elevation. A marriage done right does not simply fulfill half of your Deen. It refines your soul, purifies your intentions, and draws you closer to your Creator. Are you ready to recognize the divine signs that Allah is preparing you for marriage? Let's begin. Sign number 1. A deep desire for a righteous marriage, not just a relationship. One of the clearest signs that Allah is preparing you for marriage is an intense and sincere longing for a halal union, one built on faith, love, and responsibility. This isn't just a fleeting thought or a momentary reaction to loneliness. Rather, it is a deep, internal calling that consistently pushes you toward a meaningful and purposeful companionship that aligns with Islamic teachings. In the past, you may have viewed marriage as a distant milestone, something to think about later in life. Perhaps you were more focused on personal ambitions, education, or career growth, believing that marriage would happen when the time was right. But now, something has shifted within you. You no longer see marriage as just a social expectation or a romantic ideal. Rather, you recognize it as an act of worship, a step toward fulfilling half of your deen, and a sacred trust that requires commitment, sincerity, and faith. You start to realize that casual connections, temporary attachments, and relationships lacking true depth and sincerity are no longer appealing. The idea of engaging in anything outside the boundaries of Islam begins to feel unfulfilling and even unsettling. You yearn for a partner who will not only share life's joys and challenges with you, but also help you draw closer to Allah. You find yourself longing for a marriage built on mutual respect, trust, and a shared commitment to faith. One where both spouses support and uplift each other in their spiritual journey. As this realization grows, so does your desire for preparation. You may notice yourself becoming more curious about the qualities of a righteous spouse, seeking knowledge about Islamic marriage and reflecting on what it truly means to be a good partner. You may start listening to lectures on marriage, reading about the lives of pious couples, or even making sincere dua for Allah to guide you toward the person who will be best for your faith and future. The Prophet Muhammad, peace and blessings be upon him, emphasized the importance and benefits of marriage, saying, "O young people, whoever among you can afford to marry, let him do so, for it is more effective in lowering the gaze and guarding chastity." Sahih al-Bukhari 5065. This hadith highlights that marriage is not just a personal milestone, but a spiritual safeguard, protecting one's faith and morality. It provides an environment of emotional security, love, and tranquility, allowing both partners to thrive together in faith. If you find yourself deeply reflecting on the significance of marriage, feeling a genuine readiness to commit, and actively seeking knowledge on how to be a good spouse, understand that this is not by chance. Allah is softening your heart, shaping your mindset, and preparing you for a noble and sacred union. This transition isn't always sudden. It may develop gradually through experiences, personal growth, or moments of deep reflection. But if you sense a consistent, heartfelt yearning for a righteous marriage and your intentions are pure, take it as a sign that Allah is aligning your heart with His divine plan. And remember, when Allah places a pure desire in your heart, He also paves the way for its fulfillment in the best possible manner. Sign number 2, a strong focus on self-improvement. Before Allah grants you a righteous spouse, He first prepares you to be one. Marriage is not just about finding the right person, it is about becoming the right person. A key sign that Allah is guiding you toward marriage is a deep-rooted desire for self-improvement, not just for personal growth, but to embody the qualities of an ideal spouse. This transformation is not superficial, rather, it comes from within, reflecting a sincere commitment to building a foundation for a successful and fulfilling marriage. As you embark on this journey, you become more self-aware, reflecting deeply on your character, habits, and spiritual connection with Allah. You start to ask yourself, am I patient enough to handle challenges in a marriage? Do I communicate with kindness and wisdom? Am I responsible and emotionally mature enough to support a spouse? How can I cultivate the best version of myself for my future partner? Such self-reflection signifies a shift in mindset. You begin to realize that marriage is not about what you can gain, but what you can contribute to a lasting and meaningful relationship. You start recognizing that love is not merely a feeling, but a commitment, one that requires sacrifice, mutual understanding, and continuous effort. This journey of self-betterment often leads to spiritual strengthening. You develop a newfound motivation to pray more consistently, recite and understand the Quran, and learn about the Islamic principles of marriage. You may find yourself reading about the lives of righteous couples in Islamic history, reflecting on how they navigated their relationships with faith and wisdom. You also start refining your character, working on patience, humility, and emotional intelligence. You strive to control your anger, practice forgiveness, and develop the habit of resolving conflicts with wisdom rather than ego. These are not small changes. They are essential life skills that will define the strength and harmony of your future marriage. The Prophet Muhammad, peace and blessings be upon him, beautifully emphasized this by saying, "The best among you are those who are best to their wives." Sunan at-Tirmidhi 1162. This hadith highlights a fundamental truth. One's true character is reflected in how they treat their spouse. If you are actively working on becoming more patient, understanding, and compassionate, it is a sign that Allah is molding you for the responsibilities of marriage. Furthermore, this phase of self-improvement often comes with an increased sense of responsibility, not just in personal matters, but also in how you interact with family, friends, and colleagues. You become more mindful of your words and actions, understanding that the way you treat others today is a reflection of how you will treat your spouse in the future. If you find yourself on this path, striving to be a better version of yourself, working on your faith, and nurturing qualities that make a marriage successful, know that Allah is preparing you for something beautiful. Every effort you make to grow spiritually, emotionally, and mentally is a step closer to the righteous union that He has planned for you. Marriage is not simply about finding someone who completes you. It is about becoming complete within yourself so that you can walk hand in hand with your future spouse toward a blessed and fulfilling life together. Sign number 3. Learning patience and trusting Allah's timing. Marriage is not just about finding the right person. It's about waiting for the right time decreed by Allah. Many people rush into relationships out of fear of being alone, societal pressure, or impatience, only to realize later that they were not ready for the commitment and responsibilities that come with marriage. But for those whom Allah is preparing, the waiting period is not just a test, it is a period of transformation. If you have experienced delays or setbacks in your journey toward marriage, perhaps past proposals did not work out, relationships did not align with your values, or external circumstances prevented marriage, but you find yourself developing greater patience and trust in Allah's plan, then this is a sign that Allah is refining you. He is shaping your heart to accept the journey He has written for you, rather than forcing outcomes that may not be in your best interest. Allah says in the Quran, "And be patient, surely Allah is with those who are patient." Surah Al-Anfal 8:46. Patience in marriage is not just about waiting, it's about how you wait. Do you use this time to grow in faith, refine your character, and strengthen your relationship with Allah? Or do you dwell on frustration and compare your journey to others? The way you respond to this waiting period reflects your readiness for marriage. Consider the wisdom behind delay. Perhaps Allah is preventing you from entering into a union that would not bring you peace. Maybe He is teaching you resilience, emotional strength, and spiritual depth, so that when you do meet the right person, you are fully prepared to build a marriage based on understanding, respect, and faith. We often hear stories of people who, in hindsight, are grateful for the delays they once resented. They come to realize that had they married earlier, they might have ended up with someone incompatible or entered a marriage without the maturity and wisdom needed to sustain it. Allah's timing is always perfect, even when we do not immediately see it. If you find yourself developing patience, resisting the urge to rush, and instead focusing on self-improvement, strengthening your faith, working on your emotional intelligence, and seeking knowledge about marriage, then take comfort in knowing that this is not wasted time. It is Allah's way of preparing you for the blessings He has planned for you. When the right person enters your life at the right time, you will understand why waiting was necessary. Until then, embrace the journey, trust in Allah's wisdom, and know that what is meant for you will never pass you by. Sign number 4, becoming more responsible, financially and emotionally. Marriage is a lifelong commitment that demands both stability and responsibility. It is not just about sharing love and happiness. It is about building a secure foundation for a future together, where both partners contribute to a household filled with harmony, trust, and faith. One of the most evident signs that Allah is preparing you for marriage is when you begin to take financial and emotional responsibility seriously. You start seeing money as more than just something to spend on temporary pleasures. It becomes a means to provide, protect, and plan for the future. Reckless spending habits are replaced with thoughtful budgeting, savings, and financial discipline. You begin to recognize that financial stability is not about wealth, but about wise management of resources. If you were once indifferent to concepts like savings, investments, or debt management, you now see their importance, knowing that a responsible spouse ensures financial security for their family. Similarly, emotional maturity becomes an essential focus. Marriage is not just about the good moments. It is about navigating challenges with patience, understanding, and wisdom. You start recognizing that strong relationships require effective communication, conflict resolution, and emotional resilience. Rather than reacting impulsively to situations, you practice self-control, choose your words carefully, and seek to resolve misunderstandings with compassion. You understand that a successful marriage is built on mutual respect and emotional stability, rather than fleeting emotions or unrealistic expectations. Another profound change you may notice is a shift in priorities. Instead of seeking temporary pleasures or validation from others, you start valuing responsibility, consistency, and faithfulness. You become more conscious of the role of a spouse in Islam, learning about the rights and duties of a husband or wife, and the importance of maintaining a balance between personal well-being and family obligations. The Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, said, "A man is a guardian over his family and is responsible for them, and a woman is a guardian over her home and is responsible for it." Sahih al-Bukhari, 893. This hadith emphasizes that both spouses have significant roles in marriage. A husband must provide, protect, and guide with wisdom, while a wife nurtures, supports, and strengthens the home with care and devotion. If you find yourself naturally preparing for these responsibilities, whether by improving your patience, refining your character, managing your finances wisely, or enhancing your emotional intelligence, then understand that Allah is shaping you into the person capable of upholding the sacred institution of marriage. Marriage is not about perfection. It is about being ready to grow, compromise, and support each other in a journey that is both challenging and rewarding. If you feel yourself transforming into someone more responsible, self-aware, and committed to lifelong partnership, then take it as a clear sign that Allah is preparing you for marriage in the best way possible. Sign number 5, surrounding yourself with positive and righteous influences. The people in your life play a crucial role in shaping your mindset, influencing your decisions, and guiding you toward your future. Your inner circle, friends, family, and mentors can either uplift you, pushing you toward righteousness, or lead you away from the path of faith and wisdom. If you find yourself surrounded by righteous individuals, people who remind you of the importance of faith in marriage, who encourage you to prepare for your role as a spouse in an Islamic way, understand that this is not a mere coincidence, but a divine arrangement. Allah, in His wisdom, places the right people in our lives at the right time to offer guidance, correction, and encouragement. Perhaps you have started engaging in conversations about the significance of marriage beyond just love and companionship. You may find yourself discussing the qualities of a righteous spouse, the importance of patience and compromise, and the challenges and responsibilities that come with a halal union. These discussions broaden your understanding of what marriage truly entails, helping you develop a mature and faith-centered perspective. The Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, said, "A person is upon the religion of his close friend, so let one of you look at whom he befriends." Sunan Abu Dawud, 4833. This profound hadith emphasizes that your companions influence your beliefs, actions, and even your spiritual well-being. If your close friends and family members remind you to pray for a righteous spouse, encourage you to seek a marriage that strengthens your deen, or share Islamic wisdom on marital responsibilities, take it as a sign that Allah is nurturing you for a future of love, tranquility, and faith. Additionally, your gatherings and interests may start changing. You may begin attending Islamic lectures on family life, reading books on marital rights and obligations, or watching discussions about successful Muslim marriages. These are all subtle yet powerful indicators that you are mentally and spiritually preparing for this new phase in life. Moreover, righteous influences help protect you from misguided desires. In a world where casual relationships and fleeting connections are normalized, having a circle that encourages purity, patience, and the pursuit of a halal union ensures that you remain focused on seeking a marriage that aligns with Islamic values, rather than settling for something less meaningful. If you notice that your friendships and social circles are steering you toward a deeper understanding of marriage, offering wisdom and reminders rooted in faith, and encouraging you to grow as a person before seeking a spouse, then recognize that Allah is shaping you for a blessed and fulfilling union. Marriage is not just about finding the right person, it is about becoming the right person. And having righteous influences in your life is one of the most significant ways Allah prepares you for this sacred journey. Sign number 6. Sincerely making dua for a righteous spouse. When Allah places a pure and sincere desire in your heart, He also inspires you to seek Him through dua, placing the right words on your tongue, making earnest supplication. For a righteous spouse is one of the most profound signs that Allah is aligning your destiny with the right person, someone who will not only be a loving partner, but also a companion in faith, worship, and personal growth. At times you may notice that your du'as have changed. Perhaps in the past, marriage was not a priority in your prayers, or you may have viewed it as a distant goal, but now your supplications feel more heartfelt, filled with sincerity and longing. You are no longer just asking for a spouse, rather you are seeking a partner who will strengthen your deen, support your spiritual journey, and encourage you to become a better believer. This shift in mindset is not accidental. It is a divine indication that Allah is preparing your heart for something profound. The Quran teaches us a powerful supplication that reflects the ideal marriage. Our Lord, grant us from among our spouses and offspring comfort to our eyes, and make us leaders for the righteous. Surah Al-Furqan 25:74. This dua is not just about asking for companionship, It is a plea for a marriage filled with tranquility, love, and shared devotion to Allah. It reflects the deep understanding that marriage is more than an emotional bond. It is a means to attain Allah's pleasure and build a strong foundation for the next generation. When you begin making dua not out of desperation or loneliness, but out of a sincere longing to establish a home based on Islamic values, know that Allah is drawing you closer to the moment when your prayers will be answered. Dua is not just a request, it is an act of trust in Allah's perfect plan. It signifies that you are willing to wait patiently for the spouse that is best for you, rather than rushing into a relationship for the sake of marriage itself. The beauty of making dua is that it strengthens your connection with Allah. It reminds you that no matter how much effort you put into preparing for marriage, whether through self-improvement, financial stability, or emotional maturity, only He knows the perfect person and the perfect time for you. Sometimes Allah delays the answer to your prayers, not because He is denying them, but because He is preparing something better than you can imagine. If you find yourself consistently making sincere dua for a righteous spouse, seeking guidance in your prayers, and trusting in Allah's wisdom, take it as a clear sign that He is aligning your heart, your life, and your future with the person He has chosen for you. Keep praying, keep trusting, and have faith that Allah's timing is always perfect. Sign number 7. Marriage opportunities begin to present themselves. When the time for marriage is near, Allah orchestrates events in ways that may seem subtle but are deeply significant. You may begin to notice an increase in discussions about marriage, whether through family, friends, or even community gatherings. Loved ones might start introducing you to potential spouses, or marriage proposals may come from unexpected sources. Sometimes it may not be direct proposals, but rather conversations that encourage you to think seriously about settling down. These opportunities are not mere coincidences, they are signs of divine intervention. Allah places the right people in your path at the right time, ensuring that your journey toward marriage unfolds in accordance with His perfect plan. Even if certain proposals or introductions do not immediately result in marriage, they serve as experiences that refine your understanding of what you truly seek in a spouse. The Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, emphasized the importance of considering faith and character in a potential spouse. When someone whose religion and character you are pleased with proposes, then marry him. Sunan at-Tirmidhi 1084. This hadith highlights that while opportunities may arise, it is our responsibility to evaluate them through the lens of faith, compatibility, and sincerity. It is essential to seek guidance from Allah through istikhara prayer, asking for clarity and ease in decision-making. If a proposal feels right and aligns with your values, it may be Allah's way of facilitating the path to a blessed union. Additionally, Allah's facilitation may not always come in the form of immediate proposals. It can also manifest as a newfound readiness within you, a growing network of supportive individuals guiding you toward marriage, or a shift in circumstances that makes marriage a more practical and realistic step in your life. If you find yourself encountering more discussions about marriage, receiving proposals, or feeling a strong inclination toward committing to a halal partnership, take it as a sign that Allah is aligning circumstances in your favor. Trust His plan, seek wisdom from those who have experience, and move forward with faith, patience, and a sincere heart. Final thoughts. If you recognize these signs in your life, embrace them as a divine blessing. They are not mere coincidences, but intentional preparations from Allah, guiding you toward a sacred journey, one that requires love, patience, and unwavering faith. Marriage is not just about finding someone to share your days with. It is about building a lifelong partnership that strengthens your iman, enhances your character, and deepens your connection with Allah. This journey is one of immense personal growth. It requires you to cultivate qualities such as forgiveness, humility, selflessness, and resilience, as these are the pillars of a successful and fulfilling marriage. Challenges will come, but they are not meant to break you. They are meant to shape you into a spouse who embodies wisdom, kindness, and patience. The way you handle difficulties today is a reflection of how you will nurture and sustain a marital relationship tomorrow. Continue to make sincere dua, not only for a righteous spouse, but also for the strength and wisdom to uphold the responsibilities of marriage when the time comes. Trust in Allah's divine timing, knowing that He is the best of planners. What is written for you will never miss you, and what is not meant for you will never reach you. So have faith that when the right moment arrives, everything will fall into place in the most beautiful way. Rather than rushing into marriage, focus on becoming the right spouse before seeking the right spouse. Work on your character, your patience, and your ability to love and support someone unconditionally. The best marriages are not those built on fleeting emotions, but those rooted in faith, trust, and a shared commitment to pleasing Allah. May Allah grant you a marriage filled with tranquility, mercy, and righteousness, where you and your spouse become a source of peace and strength for each other, guiding one another towards Jannah. Ameen. If this message touched your heart, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more inspiring Islamic content.